On the topic of construction, we have the Science Center, of course, it's being built right now, as well as the new fitness center that's going to open in Dodds for spring 2013. I have to ask, is the end of this rebuilding era anywhere in sight? Or?
I don't think so.
No?
And someone asked me recently, when are we ever going to finish construction? And my answer was, I hope never, because we do have some old facilities, and it's more a question of what's in the queue, because we want to make sure that we have a process for renovating, that we don't wait for things to fall apart before we start securing funds. It will be a while, and so we have the Science Center that now you can actually see the structure, and I saw today that they're getting close to enclosing parts of it. But then we'll start the groundbreaking on the Rockefeller Art Center at the other end of campus, and apologies to students and others, that will be disruptive on that side of campus. There will be traffic interruption and things. We have a proposal in for the next capital plan to put a building between Thompson and Fenton.
Really?
In that little parking lot. Don't worry, it's not that many parking spaces, but to put a building there that is general purpose classroom building that's more appropriate for the kind of learning environment we want to have in classes. When you think about the way things are chopped up in Thompson, those odd shaped rooms, interior rooms, really long rooms where you can't really see everyone else, and all of the rooms with the tablet desks, you sit in those. My view is we're not going to buy any more tablet desks. We want furniture that can be put together for groups, more interactive learning, technology readily available in classrooms, and some of our older buildings are not, they couldn't be retrofitted to accommodate that. So I hope we get that. I hope we get a welcome center. That's another thing we've asked for. Fenner House that we use for admissions is a very pleasant building, but it's not really appropriate for offices. When families and students come here, they're crammed in a little room hearing a presentation. So we want a place that's easier to find, easier for people to be accommodated in a professional way. So it'll be a while before we're done with construction.
For the students who are up in the air about this, the Williams Center seems to be again under construction. Do you know exactly what is being put in?
Well, the finishing touches are being put on the interior work. You might see, I was over there today, and there was still a person coming around touching up paint. And
unfortunately for the leader offices, we know that very well.
You've learned the meaning of the term punch list, and that they're still going through their punch list on some of the details. But outside the Williams Center, there's construction of a patio. And it was important in terms of phasing that Williams Center renovation to get the interior work done first. And now the construction is in place for the patio. It should be really nice that there'll be doors coming from inside the Williams Center to an area outside that will have seating, umbrella tables, and venue for performance, a little bit of performance space, or there's a small band or something like that. So that's what will go in there, and really to make use of the great outdoor area and to open up what was the fortress of the Williams Center, that you just come in 2 little doors, that there's another place to enter.
Okay.
Students may have heard different things. I don't know if you could tell me some of the myths of what people think will be there.
Yeah, nothing in particular. You mentioned the fire pit before. That was one that I heard.
And that had been in the original design. As you may know, with architecture, you often say, what is our dream situation? And then you have the modifications, or what they call the design modifications, based on the real cost of what you dreamed about. And so there was a fire pit in there, but one of the modifications was to eliminate that because of the cost of the fire pit.
Jumping to a key educational component, you were instrumental, obviously, in developing the Power Fredonia program. And according to the university, it seeks to strengthen Fredonia's core values as a community of learning, an engaged community, a sustainable community, and as a global community. Could you possibly elaborate on that a little bit more and its relevance to students? Because I feel like we've heard about it, but I feel like there's a disparity between what the students actually know about it and what the faculty and the administration has in store for it.
Sure. And even that process of developing it was a little bit different because we didn't appoint a committee that sat in a room and came up with the plan. You might remember that a few years ago when we started that, the steering committee, which did include a student, made up a series of exercises so that any group, student group, faculty group of alums could sit down together, use the exercises, and then send their ideas in. And we had 71 unit reports that came in. I don't remember how many of those were exclusively student groups, but students did participate maybe in their departments. What we have now is a plan that has the word community over and over, because so many people said Fredonia is a friendly place, Fredonia is a place where people feel at home. And the question we kept asking is, how do we use that identity to really provide something for students? So you see that word community saying, why is it that the friendly nature of the campus could be used to promote engagement or global community, or is that something that we can build on? And we now have implementation teams in place. So what they're doing for each one of those 4 areas, there's a group of people, and students are included, at least one on each of those teams, is looking at, the teams are looking at what are the metrics going to be? How would we define whether we're successful in these broad goals?